Aeternum Real Estate. Are you tired of companies constantly calling you during dinner and attempting to sell you a timeshare in their territory? Well, now it's time to think about buying your own bungalow in your favorite region. You can trust me. My name is Danotage, and I'm here to be your trusty guide through Aeternum. Welcome to the latest New World video. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Enjoy. Like pretty much all non-combat based mechanics in New World, there's a direct benefit and there's an indirect one. Buying houses in Aeternum is no different. The direct benefits are pretty simple, truthfully, and I hope Amazon Game Studio adds more as the game expands, but there's a reason for their simplicity in a lot of ways as well. But for now, there are two things that you can do to give you something mechanically in return. When you buy a house, you have the ability to place furnishings. As you may know, furnishings in New World are either made by you or made by other players. You can hone your craft and make them yourself, or you can buy them from the trading post. There are two types of furnishings that give you the benefits we're talking about today. One, you have the ability to create chests, which give you additional storage. If you have not played the game yet, you could probably guess that storage is extremely valuable. As you progress your standing in any given territory, you are given three options at each level of standing to upgrade something you benefit from in that specific territory. The benefits show up randomly, but one of the options is to expand your storage rate at any territory storage shed. There are 2 access points to your storage in each settlement, and you can use these points to access any of your items stored in any of your chests, all throughout Aeternum. The thing that makes storage so valuable, though, is the fact that if you have items stored in a different territory, you either have to pay gold in order to retrieve it, and that's if the faction controls that territory in which those items are stored, or you have to pay Azoth if you wish to transfer the goods in a reasonable time. So, if you cannot directly transfer it, you can access the storage to see from anywhere, but you can't pull it out. That's where the Azoth comes in. Anyway, the bonuses that show up when you increase your standing are quite valuable bonuses, and you may not want to use them on storage if you can help it. The good news is that you can help it by placing chests, like we just talked about in your house. Be careful though, the lowest tier storage chests can be accessed by anyone in your house. If your house is public, that could be literally anyone. Now, this function is meant to let people see extravagantly decorated houses in order to give people an idea of what they're buying after it's been fully furnished. But having access to tier 1 chests seems like a strange part of the design. I do believe this feature is semi-purposeful though, although it could be an oversight. I say this because iron chests, which are tier 2, are not accessible by anybody but you. It is possible that this design is meant to set up donation chests for new players to become easily equipped with tools such as those that are too valuable to salvage in good conscience, or sell because you'd rather give it to somebody that may not be able to afford anything yet. The second furnishing is trophies. There are 15 kinds of trophies that you can craft. Some of the material are very high tier, but they are essential to buffing your character to its fullest potential. Each trophy provides a buff to one of your crafting skills, basically one for each crafting table in town and one for global luck, 3 tiers for each trophy. Additionally, there are trophies that buff damage to each of the PvE enemies you can find in Aeternum, all with 3 tiers each as well. This leaves a total of 45 different trophies that you have to either buy or craft yourself if you want to become the most efficient in your leveling throughout the game. This also means that you're going to need quite a bit of room to place all these trophies. So, the most houses you can buy, which is 3, is pretty much what you need in order to become the most efficient. We'll get into the limitations of what you can buy momentarily. Something that is not quite apparent at first glance is that houses are more than just their physical space and a place to put your stuff. The more you play New World, the more you learn why the game does not have mounts or a way to quickly travel from point to point outside of the teleportation mechanic. The game wants you to have a cost factor when traveling, making it difficult to attack or defend territories, and give you a reason to worry about storage and where to keep your materials when utilizing high-level crafting tables. Houses create an entirely useful ease of travel back to your home territories. You can travel back to a single inn if you have that set as your current room, and you can do that once every hour. You can fast travel to that inn from anywhere on the map. But because of that cooldown, it doesn't make things very easy when you have to travel from one point to another to either grab materials you need because your company needs you, or seemingly needs you in 10 different locations at once. It happens. Houses create another fast travel point that you can use to travel from as well, just like the inn. Houses have a much longer cooldown, but the main difference is that the cooldown can be set to 0 from the cost of Azoth. Traveling from settlement to settlement also costs Azoth based on your weight, calculated by the percentage of what you can carry at a maximum, but resetting your house cooldown is often a lot cheaper. With the ability to have up to 3 houses once you hit level 60, you will have many options to travel more efficiently, which personally is the biggest bonus for those that are part of a faction with very few controlled settlements. Choosing your houses based on the distance between them is highly recommended. The farther they are from each other, the more beneficial this travel mechanic becomes. However, trust me when I say that I empathize with the romantics listening to me right now, and really, they just want homes in beautiful locations in Aeternum, which there are many. Should you spend your precious money on houses? That really is the question, isn't it? When you look at the general overview of houses and what you can do with them, it may seem a little difficult to see the full benefit of why you want to spend that gold. For a lot of people, the ability to place trophies which provide buffs to your character is more than enough to justify the purchase of at least one house. The thing that could be a problem is Aeternum is a lot like real life. In real life, they say there's 2 things you can rely on: death and taxes. Since things in Aeternum never really die, death is not really something you need to worry about. Taxes very much are. Each territory on the island have different tax rates, all taxed to you once per week. So you may purchase a house in Windsward while it's at a low tax rate, and something you can very much afford at the time. But at any moment, the territory can shift ownership, and tax rates can spike, which is a high strategy for people who take over new territories, possibly pushing you past the point in which you're not able to pay up. You can always scrape together some gold and pay your taxes late, but you will temporarily lose all the benefits from that house in that territory until you do. So, well, don't worry, the ARS, the Aeternum Revenue Service, won't come after you, but they metaphorically freeze all your assets in that house. They don't take away any money or anything, but losing those bonuses is rather important. Too real? Maybe. So, to answer the original question, yes, it's worth it. But you should make sure you're able to afford it and afford the additional costs after the original purchase before you do so. As you've seen thus far, houses are extremely powerful tools at your disposal, so obviously they must have their limitations. The most obvious limitation is their literal physical space within each home. There are different sized homes in each territory, but each upgrade is significantly more expensive, although still reasonable compared to other games. Houses in New World are not just a feature, but kind of a main mechanic that developers want other players to utilize them. The size really affects what you can put in it, how much you can decorate it, which is, most players, is essential. There are 4 differently tiered houses, each with more benefits as you upgrade. All 4 allow up to 5 trophies, but since the trophies are global buffs, you only really need 1 house to get a good amount of buff, to utilize 5 of your trophies. You need all 3 to utilize all 15, but that will be advanced and you'll get that eventually. The least expensive house in the first tier of houses allows you to place 1 chest of any tier, and has a 4-hour cooldown on travel or recall. The second allows 2 chests and 3-hour cooldown. The third 3 chests and a 2.5-hour cooldown. And finally the fourth allows 4 chests and only a 2-hour cooldown. Another limitation is that you cannot just go anywhere and buy any house you want at any time. Not only are you limited to 3 houses by the time you reach level 60, but Unlocking the ability to own one in a territory requires a specific level of standing and a different level for each tier of house. This means that buying your first house might be immediate, or when you hit a pretty low level, but you may want to wait until you've reached the point in your standing where your first purchase is located before you upgrade to the highest tier. You don't have to do it that way because maybe you've become a rich oil baron and have all the money to spend in the world, but it can get rather extremely expensive if you upgrade each time you unlock the next tier. As always, every piece of information claimed in this video is acquired during the closed beta, and information not restricted by NDA. So, if there is information that was missed or information that is changed upon release, there will be a later video that reflects these changes. As always, thank you for accompanying me on this journey through the new world, and I hope to see you in Aeternum. If you enjoyed what you saw, if you enjoyed what you heard, please like the video as it supports the channel and enables us to do more. Subscribe if you want to know when we release another one, dislike the video if you didn't like it, and hit the bell if you really didn't like the video. Until next time, chin up, head down, metal horns in the sky, and I'll see y'all next time.